Recently graduated from the University of the West Indies with a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and Linguistics. First-class honors. The first person in his family to complete tertiary education. Jamar Grant is with me now. Morning.
Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you so
sir. How that make you feel when you're here when we just say a while ago?
Boy, I still learn to appreciate hearing it, you know?
Yeah.
It takes time to seep in.
Yep. I have said this must be about 60 million times on this show. People must have fed up by hearing me saying it now, because I've always said to young people that them give a hard time, so they can't focus and have girlfriend too early and won't do the work. Obviously, that didn't go for you. Well, maybe you did have a girlfriend too, I don't know. But where did this focus come from that you said, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to work for, and this is what I got? Where did that come from?
I think it came from my understanding of my situation to know that I only have one chance, and I couldn't blow it for anything.
Yeah?
Indeed.
When you said you only had one chance, why you said that?
All right, so from I was a child, I understood my economic situation at home. And it really kept me focused because I knew where I was somewhere I didn't always want to be. So even though kids around me might have had it different, I understood that there was a dynamic. And it meant that the effort I put into something might be a little bit more than what others feel as though is incumbent upon them to produce.
Yeah. Which is sometimes opposite to the norm. Mm-hmm. So Clive will come from an area we will call a depressed area, mm-hmm. and Clive from him born him say, well, me no say, nah, go work for me, you know, car, you know, just some come from and ray. But you kind of use that to go the other way.
Indeed.
You kind of make sure and say, because of where I am, I'm going to ensure that I don't stay here.
Yeah, I'm not always here, indeed.
Was that difficult?
I wouldn't say it was difficult. I think from I was young, I understood, and it was just a decision to make. Yeah.
Was there any time that you say, you know, say, me can't manage this. I feel me I'll go in another lane and try something else. Again, you hear, especially in certain areas of the country, you hear about scamming and you hear about all kinds of stuff. Was there any time that you thought, I feel I'm going to leave this lane and jump over there?
No, I think I appreciate pressure. And I'm one of those who, though I'm young, I believe that for you to gain anything substantial, you have to put in hard work. So I was never really into instant gratification. I understood that for you to get anything of substance, you needed to put in the work to get it.
Why journalism and linguistics? And you obviously have left the journalism part on the side for a little while, but why those areas?
For a little while, indeed. So my interest in journalism came from my admiration for broadcasters, and growing up watching TV, seeing people like yourself, Dela, Simone, you guys, and just the artistry you demonstrated, it was fascinating, especially news anchors. I wanted to become a news anchor, even in college, before I decided that I might need to take a break. Linguistics, though, I found out about that while I was at UWI, and it was quite interesting. So you study language, and it was something that I really appreciated. So, yeah.
Thanks for the kind words. Explain linguistics a little bit more.
It's really the study of language and not necessarily languages. So sometimes when I tell people about linguistics, they say, oh, so how many languages do you speak? It's not really that. You study language deeper. So you go into its phonology, syntax, morphology, how sounds are made, the different sound symbols. So it's like a deep evaluation or study of language.
Okay, so it's not a fact that you can...
You study several languages, right?
How did you feel when you heard that you're, what are you? You're asked to be the valedictorian, you're told to be the valedictorian, you're requested that? How does it work?
All right, so you are nominated by members of your faculty.
Okay.
So, like admin. I was at school one day, closing the classroom, and I got the call that I was nominated. So the nomination process, several people are nominated for your graduation. And from those nominated, you would have to write your speech, prepare your speech, your presentation, make the presentation. And from that, they would decide who they're going to take. There's a whole selection committee that is in charge of that procedure. When I found out I was nominated, I think I was more excited than when I actually found out I was
chosen.
Because it was in that moment I really understood the amount of work I really put into university. I was just doing it because I knew it needed to be done, not because I was expecting So in that moment, it caused me to appreciate, what I really invested in my learning. So I was very excited. After I found out I was selected, no, that was a completely different story.
Could you have said no?
I could have.
Did you think about saying no?
Perhaps it would, well, I thought of saying no when I was preparing the whole, because it was a lot. It was a lot. But no, I didn't.
When did you decide what you wanted to talk about? And what did you talk about?
So it was a little back and forth in terms of what exactly it was that I wanted to speak on and the whole metaphor that I wanted to bring forward. And I think it's fate. I think it all boils down to fate. One of my favorite quotes, I had it on my WhatsApp status for a while, was "Diamonds are forever." And after I finished writing the speech, it was not until then that I went on my WhatsApp and realized, because I did a whole diamond analogy, because just like diamonds, I saw myself going through the rough, right? Until my shine was was seen by others. So that's the analogy I decided to work with. And it wasn't until I was finished with the speech and graduation that I went on my WhatsApp and saw that same little quote that has been there for a while: "Diamonds are forever."
Beautiful. Double-barrel question. How important is volunteerism and why teaching? Was that on the radar before?
Well, let me tell you, I was always running away from teaching as a profession to venture into. But I feel when I reflect on how impactful teachers were in my life, I'm not sure if I'd have ever felt fulfilled until I went into the classroom and walked at least a mile in their shoe. And I tell you, sometimes I've come to realize that walking that mile is difficult. And it's my way of paying it forward. My way of paying it forward. So teachers were quite impactful in my life from basic school coming up. And I thought when I saw their impact, and despite the fact that I grew up in situations that, as you said, could have caused me to look another way, teachers were the ones who really kept me navigated, kept me focused. I remember when I was in grade 6, I had this teacher, Miss Pattison, and one day, I never used to do lessons. That's like after school where your parents pay for you to go. And one day, I was packing up to leave. The lesson students would stay after school. And she said to me, "Where are you going?" And I said to her, "I'm going home, it's time." And she said, "No, you're going to sit here. You're going to do lessons." And I'm like, "But who's going to pay for it?" And she said, "Don't worry about that. Something good is going to come out of you." And even now with volunteerism, I volunteer for this organization in the Grill called NEAT. It's an organization where on every Saturday for 8 weeks, we meet with students in the community who requires assistance with their different subject areas for learning. And Miss Patterson is one of those teachers there who I now volunteer with. She was my teacher.
Brilliant. Final question. I need a quick answer for this one. With the fact that teachers not getting enough money, them a run go foreign, go teach. Any thought before you went in, and any thought no of?
It was never, my whole struggle of trying to find out if teaching was a profession I should enter was never shaped by the pay. It was really shaped by my experience with my teachers and what I knew I could pay forward to my students that I have now.
Gosh, I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you again.
And you're one of the people that's good about Jamaica. Really, really impressed. God bless you and your family. And say hi to the students for me. And look.
Hello, my students. One way, remember to behave today. I'm not at school, all right?
Look in that camera and say it again. Look in this.
One way, students, sir is reminding you to behave yourselves today. Do not roam the corridors. I am not at school.
Hear that one way, students? All right. Valedictorian 2023, the only male